Alright everybody, this is Rust to Resurrection. My name is Bill and we're back working on the Dauntless V6 engine. So today what we're going to do is remove all of this stuff off the front of the engine and trying to get it down to the block if we can. When we look at the instructions, it says we need to remove the crankshaft pulley. So that's coming off. We need to remove the crankshaft vibration dampener. That's going to try to come off. The oil pump comes off, I believe, with the entire front of this thing. Timing chain cover, that all comes off as part of this disassembly. I'm hoping to get all of this off as a single unit because the photograph that they have says that we should be able to do that. Once we take the pulley and the dampener off, all of this front case should come off, and that's what I'm hoping happens, and that'll expose the timing chain and whatever other stuff is behind all of that. So we're going to do that, then remove crankshaft front oil seal, timing chain sprocket. That's all in an upcoming video. So my only hope for this video is to get all of this stuff off the front of the engine. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to take the mics off and going to turn the heater back on, and we're going to do this hopefully without me talking other than maybe the occasional ouch or bitch. But that is today's video. So stick around. Let's get the front of this engine torn down. So for those of you who, that is dry, holy moly. So for those of you who are interested in this kind of stuff, this is these are 1/2-inch bolts that hold the pulley assembly on. So as an aside, I did mark the alignment on these. I don't know if it matters or not, but I did mark them. I didn't expect that. And it actually doesn't show it in the instructions. I oiled all this the other day in preparation for this. It's coming. Nice blue paint. Looks like it has these stake marks, which I don't know that I understand completely. Now it says this big center bolt is going to come out for the damper to come off. Alright, I gotta go get a bigger wrench for that. Well, that didn't work. All right, so we just keep increasing the violence until we get this thing done. I cannot break it free, so we're gonna try some heat and see if that won't break some of that rust or whatever it is that's keeping that big bolt in place. So I rolled it over to see if I can get a better access to that bolt. And the block started draining itself of antifreeze. So that's a good thing, I think. So it is the next day. After struggling for a long time yesterday to get that bolt out of that harmonic balancer, I gave up because I didn't want to break things. So one of the nice things about being an automotive YouTuber, and I use that lightly, referencing myself, you get to network with a lot of very smart automotive talent, and my case is no different. Over the last couple, 3 years, I've met some really phenomenal mechanics that have their own YouTube channel. We have a network group that we created here a while back, and we're talking constantly about YouTube and about automobiles and mechanics and that kind of thing. So anyway, I went to my network group last night and I told them what I was doing and what I was struggling with, and asked for their suggestions and asked for their advice, and every one of them came up with the same answer. They said that after you have done the most gentle persuasion possible, they want you to bring out the big guns. They want you to ooga dooga. So we're gonna ooga dooga today, and we're going to try and get that bolt out of that harmonic balancer so we can get the rest of this front of this engine off. So one of the things they did suggest that I do, which I was doing yesterday, is to heat that bolt up before we use the air wrench. But let's do that first. For those of you that are keeping track, this is a 15/16. Ooga dooga. So 2 things to say about that. First is, it's nice to have friends in high places. And the second thing is, it's nice to have the right tools. Ooga dooga, ooga dooga. All right. So the next thing we're going to try and do is get this damper off. But before I do that, let me get this out of the way. You still with me, boys? Alright, so let's keep these parts together. Alright, so that exposes all the bolts, and I've got these three are already out. I've got one up here that I think is broken. I'll find that out when we get to the point. There's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, a bolt here, and there's two underneath that go up through the oil pan, and I have to pull those first. So it's going to be a while before we get to the oil pan, but I got to take two of them out right now, so I might as well have a place to put them. So another baggie for bolts. And once again, for all the scorekeepers, these are 1/2-inch bolts. What we're doing is we're removing this entire pan, timing chain cover rather. Lots and lots of bolts. Fortunately, there's enough oil on this and dirt that these come out pretty easy. Now, I'm not sure if the oil pump comes out with the pan. It looks like it does. But we'll figure that out. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay. We'll do that one right there, so I know where it goes in the future. These are out. These are out. This is out. Alright, let's roll it over. Let's try violence. Gentle violence, of course. Let's try violence. Alright, it says remove oil pump. Sure. 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 Five screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 5 screws, guys. Ooh, that came out easy. All right. All right. I guess that manual is smarter than me. Just follow it. All 5. All right, cool. These are flatheads. Remove. oil pump. Remove 2 oil pump gears. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Okay, I think I've got this figured out. Oh, there's another. Look at that. They didn't tell me about that screw. There's another screw in there. They didn't tell me about this one. What it wants me to do is to remove these 2 pump gears. It's interesting because it's the first time I've ever been inside something like this. Makes perfect sense to me though. Okay, there's 1. Oh, almost 1. Okay, there's 1. Don't you fall back in there. Alright, that one. And there's this one. Okay, that's interesting. That one is just a pivot point. But it doesn't go into anything, so I don't know why. Why it's holding up. Taking out this cover. So what I've learned is, like everything on this thing, to get this cover off just requires a little violence. So violence is not my preferred method. It is apparently the thing that dislikes the most. Where to hold this? I don't know. So the next thing it wants me to do is to remove the timing chain, and I have to line up the 2 alignment marks on the 2 sprockets first. That's what it's asking, and it's telling me that I need to put this dampener bolt back in and then use it to turn the crank. So that's what we're going to do. Goes in a lot easier than it came out. The 2 alignment marks, there's one right up here, and there's another one on the smaller gear right here. And it wants me to bring the two of those together in the center here. So we're going to do that. If you watch this one up here, we're going to bring it down to center. And when it gets there, you're going to notice that this mark and this mark have to be in alignment. So the two are in alignment. Now I can remove this bolt, I hope. So this is the gear for the distributor, and it looks to be in really good shape, as do all the teeth here as well. This is the tensioner for the chain, timing chain, and this is over here is just, I guess, a guide for the chain coming off the larger sprocket. The instructions say that it's not necessary to remove this or this, assuming you're going to just replace the chain or something. But in my case, the plan is to actually send this block in for inspection, cleaning, and then I'm going to repaint it. So there's no reason for me to leave these two here. So before I pull all of this off, I am going to get these off. Okay, so there is a spring, torsion spring, that comes out of this hole in the block, goes around this pin, then up into a slot behind here. And my hope is that I can move that torsion spring out of that slot up in here, which it appears that I may not be able to. No. Will it let me pull it out of here? It will. Okay, there's my torsion spring. And then there is a stud, I think, right there. So let's get that stud out. So this and this are all going to go in a baggie with these over here. That appears to be some kind of fiber, and you can see, I hope, that there's a little bit of wear from the chain. Okay, that's loose. So the next thing to come off is the distributor gear and the eccentric for the fuel pump, and that's a single bolt. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, nice. Okay. There's that. That was easy. And that was easy. I like it. They want me to use 2 screwdrivers and pry this lower. Well, actually, they want me to pry them both off, but they want it to come off from here first. And having done this, nice, 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 nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, 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 nice. The last thing that needs to come off the front of this engine is this bracket for the alternator. Like everything else, it is greasy, greasy, greasy. Boys, we have a clean front of engine. One more notch in the belt of the Dauntless V6 Cowboy. We got the front of that engine off. That was a little bit more work than I anticipated, but we got it done. Got it done well, and everything has been labeled and put on the bench over here. Next time we come back on the engine, we're going to remove the heads, because that's the next thing in the service manual instructions for dismantling this engine. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. We really hope you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Trying to grow this channel. We appreciate you being here. We love you. And we will see you in the next video coming up.